been driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel. There's a voice in my head that drives my heel. It's my baby calling, says I need you here. And it's 4:30 and I'm shifting gear. When she's lonely and the longing gets too much, she says the cable coming in from above. Don't need a phone at all. We've got a thing that's a whole great I love.
The first car I drove was my father's Armstrong Sydney Sapphire, which was a stupid thing to try and drive when I was just learning because it had pre-selector gears, and I found it was extremely difficult to try and remember to put the car into gear before I drove off. Then I had to take driving lessons on little potato cars, I called them, which was a sort of small standard, nice and easy to drive. A complete contrast to my father's car, which is why I found it so difficult to transfer. But we managed.
My first car, well, I wouldn't really call it a car as such, as I've been on motorbikes. I've ridden motorbikes from the age of 16, then progressed to 17, and it couldn't pass my test. And about that time I was working in the garage, so my first car ended up being a Reliant Regal Supervan 3. It was a three-wheeler and plastic pig, we used to call it, blue one. Brilliant bit of kit. I tuned it all up, bucket seats, mini steering wheel, all the bits and pieces, and I drove that for a couple of years. It was great fun.
My first car was a Mini, and now I've bought another one.
Ideally something small, compact, but 4 doors.
4 doors?
Yeah.
Why 4 doors?
Just easier to get everybody in and out of the car. 2 doors always seems a little struggle and always has done to me.
Though that may be something you want as your first car is probably going to end up being something much more like this, the Citroën AX. While not being something you fantasize about, it's a damn sight better at getting you from A to B than a bicycle. Inside, it's got none of the basic necessities that you would expect in a car from today. It's got no airbag, as you can see. It's just got the single prong steering wheel and, well, not much else. You've got a radio, no ABS at all, no crash barriers. The roof can push in, all the panels can push in. It's very, very unsafe. Around back, there is a sizable boot for a car this small, which can easily take all the shopping you could ever want, all the dead bodies you could ever want. But mine just has basic things like fuel and a cleaning kit. It's under the bonnet where things really get disappointing. Let's open it up and you find a basic 954cc 4-cylinder engine. The engine, shared by the Peugeot 205, is a very simple layout. 4 cylinders, straight, with a very simple air filtering system, battery, and no computers controlling any part of this engine. This means that the performance is rather dull. It's not exactly the fastest car in the world, not the slowest by any means, but it's really not brilliant.
This means a 0 to 60 time of a measly 16 seconds and a top speed of noisy.
Now this is by no means the worst car in the world, no means the best, but is it better than what many other people have? Let's find out.
Of 20 people we asked, only one person was so unrealistic as to want a Veyron. But since his surname was neither Gates, Sugar or Cowell, this is not going to happen anytime soon. Unsurprisingly, it was mostly a split between the Mini and the Fiat 500. However, only 4 people favoured the classic Mini, either because of the price of them now, or because they are horrendously unsafe and don't want to wear the steering wheel as a necklace. Few males I managed to ask wanted cars altogether more sporty and or German, with many favouring BMWs, More saner and more sensible people craved Golfs and Polos, with one person even wanting a Lupo. But I think the reasons behind the popularity of the Mini and the 500 and many other small cars attract because they are relatively cheap, good on fuel, with cheap tax and insurance, but ultimately because they are modern and therefore very safe. Hardly any parents will allow their child to drive a death trap, even though older cars are infinitely cooler because of their inherent safety concerns. I bought my car from a friend after his mother wouldn't let him anywhere near it. In modern cars you are cocooned in safety. In the event of a crash you should be fine. In mine you close your eyes and you hope that the thing you hit is made of Swiss cheese.